Do you have any comments, questions?
Comments? Are we deliberating?
I think we could,
Okay.
if you're so willing.
Just going to read. All right. Here are the 7 reasons why I don't support this proposal. First, the proposal creates more meetings and more work. 2, the proposal may well invite more general plan amendment applications rather than fewer, certainly more at one of the 2 given points during the year when such applications are invited. 3, it doesn't seem that we would even get more so-called community benefits as a result of the extra time spent and work done. 4, as a policy reflected in a resolution, this prospective new guideline could be circumvented by the same number of council votes that it takes to grant a general plan amendment. 3, so as a policy, it has no teeth. It's truly creating more work for no reason. 5, the community has, and this is not last but not least, 5, the community has concerns regarding so-called community benefits. It's fair to say that the community, as reflected by members making tonight's and prior comments, doesn't want this proposal. And 6, even the business community doesn't want this proposal, as reflected by our comments. And then my final point is that any discussion of enforcement of development agreements is completely unaffected by any resolution or policy we set forth tonight. Our remedies within contract and through development agreements remain the same regardless of whether we enact what I feel is basically an unnecessary and wasteful procedure.
Okay,
Thanks.
You've been very clear. Anybody else?
So first I want to say thank you to the city staff, because the reason why we're talking about this tonight is because it was generated by the city council. And I want to apologize for the comments I made earlier. I was just a little bit passionate, like our Vice Mayor Chang is that, you know, this is 6.5 years on the Planning Commission. This is my 8th year on the City Council. Staff is just trying to listen to what the public is saying, listen to what the council is saying, and they're just as frustrated as you are. And we also feel your frustration as well. And we're trying to find the happy balance of what we do. And I think for the 5 council members up here, I mean, it's not really a hard, I mean, it's really a hard drive for us to get away from our family, get away from our job, try to listen to all the different input, various different input, divided input sometimes. But if you listen to tonight, I want to say to the City Council, is that, you know, it's really interesting to see here, you know, Stephen Sharp, Jennifer Griffin, Better Cupertino, Cupertino Chamber of Commerce, BIA, Apple Inc., our biggest employer in town, all agree on the same page, is that we all care for Cupertino, but this particular process, they have some concerns. The general plan should be taken very, very, very seriously. And I think that when we do a general plan amendment, staff looks at it very carefully, and I think that they have been doing a very good job in the past and making sure that if it was real serious in the past, they have been bringing it through study sessions to the City Council. I just don't know why that process got stopped. And I'll take some of that responsibility because I was on the Planning Commission and beginning of City Council, and they didn't bring it forward for whatever reason. I remember, I think at that time, a lot of people saying we're being in closed session meetings and we're not being invited to public. But those closed session meetings were in the open. And I think that in the future, we need to bring that forward if this process does not go forward. I think that's really important. The other thing I think is what's really frustrating is the pink elephant in the room that we're not really addressing, is that even though I think the old council or the new council, I believe that we as a council did the right thing on making the general plan amendment suggestions. You may agree to disagree, but I made a motion and heard the public, and we are going to bring it back. And I think that the longer we wait to bring that back, I mean, I would rather hear the general plan amendment technical stuff tonight or a month ago, but staff said, you know, we need to take our time, we need to outreach to the public. I believe that we should have a workshop. I know that our team met in small groups with different stakeholders from Better Cupertino, Cupertino Concerned Citizens, CARES, the Chamber. I know some people are shaking their head, but not everyone was clear. It was just a segment of each of the different groups. And, but I think that we have to bring it forward. And I think that you have it scheduled for October 20th. It cannot go beyond October 20th because I think the community really would like to have an opportunity to address the December 4th council meeting on our decision, because a lot of people are very frustrated, and I can feel your frustration. We can feel it up here too. I think that, in my opinion, I urge the council to have the status quo, and the reason why is that I think that the staff has been doing a good job in looking at things one by one. I think that we should judge each one on its own merit. Yes, we can. I think that, and I think Savita asked a very good question. I kind of told her privately, is that, should we? And RT explained it very good. Is that our current process? We look at, for lack of a better word, you can call it, volunteer community amenities, community benefits, whatever. I think that we have to look at the project first. If your mind's going to get clouded, like if you're being dangled a community bus, or dangled a school, or dangled money for this or that, and I think that by having that distraction, whatever you want to call it, community benefits or voluntary community amenities, the merits of the application should be looked at first, number one. And then after that, if we look at through the EIR or negative deck and we see that there's concerns regarding schools, we look at schools or traffic or whatever, there's opportunities to mitigate it. If we can't mitigate it by ordinance or by law, then we can ask them to voluntarily put it in a development agreement, and it's been working. I think what staff's concern is, and also my concern too, is that in the past we haven't received that many general plan amendments, okay? And staff has foreseen that we'll probably look at maybe 5 or 6 amendments because simply there's not enough allocation currently. Or maybe there's a really special hotel or something that wanted to go over 45 feet. Or maybe we need to amend it and say that you just can't put 1,600 square foot of retail and get XYZ amount of square foot of office or retail. Those things I'm willing to look at. To make it more harsh on the applicant when they come forward, but on a merit by merit basis. I feel that this is an opportunity for people to throw money at the city so that they can get around the general plan, and this is not the way we do things in Cupertino. I just feel that staff is trying to help us to calm the community down, but it's just doing the opposite. I mean, it's really unusual to see both. Everybody in the community come together, Stephen Sharp, Jennifer Griffin, BIA, Chamber of Commerce, to say that we want the status quo. Thank you.
Okay. You want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go next. So help me.
Wait. Can I ask a question? Are we in deliberation or we're in questioning?
We're in deliberation.
Oh, I thought I still have a couple questions you to ask. So we'll jump to deliberation. Go ahead, that's fine.
Well, she can deliberate and.
No,
Okay.
why don't you ask your questions
Okay.
and deliberate? And then
All right, okay. The enforceability, if we have even we have a development agreement, and then if the developer is not doing what they're supposed to do, just like what Palo Alto has been, what kind of enforceability, what kind of enforcement we can do it? Can we stop the project? I mean, the Palo Alto one is very outrageous. Okay, they have a so-called historical building supposed to be preserved. The developer agreed to preserve, and then when he got the permit, he just got it.
Well, right, so
then that historical building is gone. What are you going to do?
well, you have this remedies you would always have in terms of code enforcement, in whatever penalties you agreed in the development agreement. I mean, you could even require them to bill it back.
Okay, all right. Second question about the.
So, I mean, while you were out, Barry, we talked about this in a development agreement, right? We can have whatever contractual terms we
Okay,
want to
all right,
have.
got it. Okay.
right?
And then
Mutually agreed.
Liang Fan Chow is accusing us hiring the community benefit do we have any community benefit we are hiding to the public? I want to put it on the dais here because we've been accused that we are hiding the community benefit.
No, we have no community benefit program right now.
Okay, good. Number 3 question, Patricia Successful, right? She's representing Building Industry Association. And that organization has been suing the city around the Bay Area. Have we got any lawsuit from that?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then if we pass this one tonight, do we anticipate we may get a lawsuit from them?
I don't see what they would be able to sue us on, but anybody can file a lawsuit.
Right.
But I
So
don't think it would be probably frivolous in my
That
opinion.
lead to my next question. If they sue us, will we be able to defend ourselves? Will we make all this change?
Well, I'll let the city attorney answer that. That's
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Yes.
good. All right, I finished my question. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm done, go ahead.
No, why don't you finish deliberating too?
You want me to deliberate?
All right.
Well,
Okay, I'll deliberate, okay. I think we need to make a change, okay. The problem is here. I mean, we have all this traffic problem, all the school problem already. And we just don't have enough money to fix the problem. So what are we going to do? And then we cannot force the developer to do some of the item. So the only way is goes through the community benefit. So whatever the community member talking about no community benefit, really, then what are you trying to tell us to solve the problem? There's no way we can solve this problem now. Some of the speaker was right. The growth is here, no matter we do or not. Other city is doing it. So what are you going to do? The traffic will have a much bigger traffic problem than what we expected now. I'm not saying that, okay, then we just build more. No, but we have to find a way if the inevitable to develop, to grow, because, I mean, the commercial property owner has the right to do what they need to do, then why not work it out with the win-win situation for the developer, for the community, for the city? So I think we should change, and only thing different is the time. We should have the twice a year, and we should allow the developer, if they did not make it the first cut, they should be able to come back in 30 days, all the project presented, and it should be based on the merit, not the beauty contest, in my opinion. Okay, so it should be twice a year, and every project, if they come back at the first round, they did not make it, they should have the right to appeal in 30 days, resubmit it in 30 days, and then if that still did not cut it, did not make it, they can come back 6 months later for the second round.
so you're saying 6 months later, not 12 months later.
Right, because 12 months, I think is too long. I mean, let's face it. I mean, some of the speaker was right. If a new company come in here to want to have an office building here, they cannot wait for, if they wait 6 months, already long enough. If they make them wait for 12 months, I think that's too long. Okay. You never know what will happen in the high-tech center. I mean, who can imagine Google and who can imagine Facebook and Twitter, right? If they come into the town and say that we want to do it, what are you going to do? You tell them, take a hike? No, we don't want you. Can't, right? So we have to look at the more proactive, how are we going to solve the problem? It's not saying, well, we want to stop the growth. If anybody drive around the town, drive around the Bay Area, you will see the building all over, just all over. San Jose, as I said before, is going to reach to 1.2 million people in the next 20 years. That's what their mayor say. So they are building it. And then that's 200,000 people in San Jose. San Jose is not far, okay? Just south of Bollinger is San Jose already, okay? And then that traffic, where is that traffic will go? We'll come into here too. So how are we going to solve it? You tell us now you cannot do this, tie your hand here, tie your hand here. And then so what are you going to do? Make it even worse? There's no way. You just, everybody has to be open-minded. Together we can find a solution. And I think this process is better than before because of the process before, to me, it's not working. Otherwise, we won't have problem today. If it's working, we shouldn't have all this problem now. So if it's not working, we got to fix it, and then fix it, we open up for the community to get the input. I mean, for example, earlier people comment about VALCO. VALCO is not set yet. If you feel one school is not enough, you can put in your request for second school or third school, for junior high or high school. And then we can negotiate, and we bring the community in to do the negotiation. So this is much better than before. You don't wait until the last minute, then the city council approve it, then people are not happy. This is at least we can talk. And it had to be, every side has to be reasonable. You cannot just say, well, it has to be this way, my way, or no way. Both sides, or three sides, the city council, the community, the developer, we all have to work together. I mean, if we don't solve the problem together, it will be hard. And if we want to continue to infighting, I don't think that's the best way to do it. So I'm for the change, and then with the 2 time, and then coming back, it's not subject to the council's discretion. Okay, if they submitted, they did not qualify the first round, they should have the right to come back in second round in a year.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I meant.
Savita.
Thank you. So I feel a lot of the conversation is a little bit of the tail wagging the dog. From what I understand, the community amenities is one part of this whole process. And the general plan amendment itself is allowed 4 times in a year by state. But we are changing it slightly, and this discussion is about creating a process of when a project comes in requesting a general plan amendment, how do we deal with that? Am I correct about that, at least?
Well, so you're talking the 4 times a year is the back end.
Yeah.
Once you process it, you can't do more than 4. We're talking about the front end.
Front end.
Right now, everybody can apply for general plan amendments. That doesn't go away. They'll still come in. What
But we are trying to
do
create is a process
where
so
the
that
community can provide input early. So if we don't have a process, the community, that part goes away, and then individual projects can go out and do their own neighborhood meetings.
And we're trying to do that twice a year with the second chance. We can get
Well,
into that in a...
Right. There are several options. The one we presented to you included the twice a year.
Twice a year. So from what I understand, it will actually reduce the number of meetings. That's how I see it. And I heard the word general welfare of the community. If a project in its own merit is a good project, and we are comparing it with other projects, and we have the community giving us their input, I really think that's the right way for us to build our community. When we have your input, and then we together decide on something, that's the right way to build a project. And I do not want to get into the merits or demerits of a beauty contest. That is just one element. And I heard about the noticing from Dr. Lum. That's a valid point. I would like to have that noticing ahead of time so that the community knows when they can come in and make their voice heard, whether it is a school or anything, whether it is the height of the hotel itself, or whether it is the square footage of the office. That is the project. The amenities is just one element of it. So if you can make your voice heard early enough, that will actually help us streamline the process. So I actually believe that this is a good change. It's a change where we preempt a lot of the heartache that happens later. And we work with you to make it happen. And we do it either once a year or twice a year. We can discuss that further. That's a negotiation, and I do like your recommendation. Another thing is, I feel in this way that the developer has more opportunities to be respectful of our residents, instead of doing something which I keep hearing that it looks like we're doing something behind closed doors and you're not part of the process. Here you'll get an opportunity to talk directly with someone who's bringing in a project into your neighborhood. So for that reason, and for other reasons mentioned, I am for this. I originally said I would have preferred if we had done it once a year with a second chance, but I understand what Vice Mayor Chang says, going forward, having the second opportunity in 6 months is probably a good way to go.
So I have
Okay.
a question.